with Reading Coalition for the Homeless, and we see this homeless individual out in the very early morning hours here in downtown Reading. Unfortunately, judging by this man's condition and the way he propels himself around town, I don't think he's going to survive the cold winter here in Reading. Unfortunately, the city, the police department has criminalized homeless, Reading Police Department. The city of Reading takes tours. They were looking for people like this. Well, here you go, Francie Sullivan. Here you go, Reading City Council. Here's the kind of people that you're looking for, that you want to denigrate, that you want to expose, that you want to, what can I say, persecute. Now, this individual's having a hell of a time getting around, but I can assure you, with the cold temperatures coming in, he won't be around much longer. So if this is the way the city of Reading solves its homeless issue, you can bet this man is just not going to make it. Not only does the city of Reading not care about the homeless issues, with these cold temperatures coming in, you can bet, as it has been in the past, that the police department will send their police out and destroy homeless camps during the most coldest periods of time here in Reading. You know, if that isn't diabolic, I don't know what is. Chris, Reading Coalition for the Homeless. God bless in Jesus' name.
We have a Chinese state-run paper now making claims that they will prepare military action over Taiwan. Now, this comes on the heels of this blistering speech that Xi Jinping put out, talking about how they will fight a bloody battle to regain their rightful place in the world. Now, I'm not sure if many people out there have just been glazed over by all the saber rattling throughout the years, all the talk of potential war, or just seeing the realities of our troops being spread across the globe and constantly pounding the piss out of every country that we roll into. And it never seems to be for legitimate reasons. Of course, everyone that signs up for the military to protect this country does it taking an oath that they're going out there to fight for this country. Many do not like the fact that they're being sent over to areas to occupy and to do things which they feel are unnecessary and are not aligned with the strong belief that they're doing it to really protect the country. There's other interest out here, not just with militaries, but with mercenary forces as well. Mercenary forces being used en masse across the globe. We've seen this all over the place, especially in Ukraine and all the proxy war type of setting areas where these things have popped off. And it's not just the United States, it's Russia, other countries as well. They have special agents on the ground doing things, special ops. And then the mainstream media, which is controlled, obviously twisting things to however they want the narrative to be. Now with Taiwan, Taiwan is viewed as a self-ruled part of China by China. They don't see it as being independent by any means. And they say that the United States accepted this when they signed this treaty or this bill from 1982 stating that. Now, Trump here recently signed a bill where they could start bringing U.S. merchant ships and other ships up into Taiwan. Apparently, this has China uneasy. So they fired a shot across the bow at Hong Kong and at Taiwan, telling them both that if they partake in anything with anyone that is going to try to break them away or attempt separatism from China, that they will face the punishment of history. So Xi Jinping not shying away from these harsh statements here on the world stage as he solidified himself as emperor for life in China now. But this is some of the latest. I'm going to leave a link so you guys can read into it. I will continue to update with information as I come across it. This has been Dabu7. Peace.
It's the claim that the August protest was some sort of left-wing plot. Who, you might ask, would say something so offensive? An elected representative who's serving right now in the U.S. Congress.
And look at the background. George Soros is one of those people that actually helps, back these individuals. Who is he?
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
Was it difficult?
Not at all.
Do you think George Soros funded the neo-Nazis who marched in Charlottesville?
Wouldn't it be interesting to find out?
These conspiracy theories were first spread by radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Is this lost on anyone? George Soros is a famous Nazi collaborator.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four quarters of the earth pushing this truth. And so I just got another buzz here, but this is one that caught my attention because you know that net neutrality was ended. And if you're not familiar with Assange, he's another one of them whistleblowers. And so Assange internet connection cut off an embassy, Kim.com. And so this is a breaking story. Kim.com is alleging WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange had his internet connection within the Ecuadorian embassy in London cut off. He has called on Assange's supporter to gather outside the embassy building in solidarity. So, they just cut his feed, and they've been cutting our live feeds and everything else. So, it's just that now they're really clamping down on what you post and everything. So while that's going on, we'll of course talk about the mark of the beast, the RFID implant, because there is a world currency, and Chris Green's going to talk about how he, in case you don't know him, that's AMTV. He's going to talk about how he became rich off this, backed up currency, the global currency, Bitcoin. And it's a very interesting video. I said I was going to get to it sometime this week, so finally downloaded all those videos from End Time News into the computer here. So I'm going to roll this because it's very interesting what he says here. So we know that's pushed towards the mark of the beast. So let me get that up. All right.
Anyways, I was having some thoughts here about recent reports that Jack Dorsey, he's the founder of Twitter, he's one of the few people in the world that really understands social media, just came out and said that he believes Bitcoin will be the reserve currency. That's right, the digital reserve currency of the future. And a lot of people ask me all the time, they're like, well, what does that mean, Christopher? So I want to intellectualize with you guys a little bit today because obviously, Bitcoin's a big part of my life. I've basically invested everything into it. It's made me a millionaire. It's made me Bitcoin rich. And not only that, I've launched a series of courses of which I teach that you can't get anywhere else in the world. In fact, we've put out 15 videos, over 8 hours of exclusive content, everything that I've learned over the last 10 years up until now. And I encourage you to click the link below, subscribe. We've got limited seats, prices going up soon. But back to what Jack was speaking to, because some of the most common questions that I get about Bitcoin are, well, okay, is this going to be, if this is the new world reserve currency, then I guess the CIA must have planted it. So let's actually think about that. Let's do critical thinking today. And we're going to play two scenarios, one in my mind on one side, and then we're going to flip it and flip the coin and play the other scenario as well. Let's say that the CIA did plant, sure I got all my phones, did plant Bitcoin, and it's a CIA operation, right? Just like the internet was created by DARPA. It's the agenda to basically move the entire world to a one world order currency, and the digital currency they've picked is Bitcoin. Is that possible? It could be, so let's play along with that for a minute. If that's the case, and let's say you invested $10,000 in Bitcoin today, let's say you took my course, even $1,000, and it becomes the world reserve currency. It's so big, and it's so huge that it replaces the dollar, the US dollar. It replaces all fiat, the entire banking system. It's pretty cool right there. Check that out. Got a bunch of planes behind me. Let's say that that was the case. What would happen to your portfolio, do you think, if you owned Bitcoin, or any cryptocurrency for that matter? It'd make you Bitcoin rich, right? You'd be incredibly, incredibly wealthy. So if the CIA, this is my point, who even cares? If the CIA is behind it, and you bought Bitcoin, and it goes to the moon, well, you're extraordinarily wealthy. In fact, that might even be a good scenario, because it would assure the success of the technology that they're lying to us about through the mainstream media, telling us, for example, that, you know, it's a scam, it's a fraud, it's going to go to zero, but they're going to try to regulate it, if not ban it. So that's one scenario. So basically you're rich. You're rich. If the CIA, the government, global governments are behind all this, you're incredibly, incredibly wealthy. Okay? The counterpoint to that is, let's say it is legitimate, like I believe it is. It's absolutely 100% legitimate. It's this decentralized network created by Satoshi Nakamoto, who's anonymous, and it's breakthrough technology that transforms everything, just like the internet, and just like people laughed at people like Jack Dorsey, got a plane taken off right there. Just like people laughed at him, and then he's gone on to make billions and billions of dollars. You know, we all remember, like, it's like your parents, you know, and your grandparents, like, what are these kids doing with social media? Like, we don't understand it, right? Like, what's social media? It'll never go anywhere. Reality television, they said, would only last like a couple of months before people got tired of it. Now it's so big that it's our entire economy. Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than these airplanes here behind me. I don't know if you can see that. I just got my cell phone out today. It's pretty amazing, right? So it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that plane. If that's the case, and it disrupts, like the internet, you'll also be extraordinarily wealthy. It might be a little harder because the CIA and Central Intelligence and intelligence agencies and the U.S. government won't be helping it along. It'll just disrupt, but if it becomes the internet, you'll still become very, very rich. So basically, here's the point. I don't even know if this is making sense. The point is, under both scenarios, even if it is a CIA creation, or if it's not, which I believe, in both cases, you become extraordinarily Bitcoin rich. If it replaces the US dollar, like Jack Dorsey says, you will have more money than the 99% of people on planet Earth. Because
So, you know, like everything else, though, yeah, some people are going to get rich quick off of it. Of course they will. But, you know, it's not going to save you in that day, because we know that that day is slowly approaching, that, you know, you can't buy, sell, or trade unless you receive the mark, and that's the push towards it by having a world reserve currency. So, this is what's happening now, and I'm just going to read out of Amos chapter 9. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the branches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. And that's what's happening now. You know, we are waking up to the fact that we're the Hebrew Israelites, the real ones. We're going out on the streets and proclaiming this. We're shaping things up. We're kicking out those that ain't with it, that don't want to be a part of it, but just want to hold on to it, you know, that have been fed, but yet they don't want to, you know, pretty much, they've taken their hands off the plow. So it talks about that. That they shall possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen, which are called by thy name, saith Yahweh, that does this. Behold, the day is come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop in sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and that they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith Yahweh, thy power. So, what's going to happen, though, is that, first, everything's going to crash, and a lot of these people are going to try to get rich quick and all that. But our investment is upon this word, this foundation, this rock of our salvation. That is, that we are the nation that shall be salvaged from among the heathen, which his covenant has always been with Israel. So, yeah, man, House of David's being built up, and we're just, proclaiming this. But I thought that it was very interesting, though, that, they just pulled another plug on the internet, of course, with whistleblowers. And what do you think we are? We are them whistleblowers. I just did a video a few days ago called We Are the Whistleblowers, the real ones, because we're blowing the whistle on Esau and everything that he wants to do. We're warning our people that, hey, this devil has come down having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath a short time. And we're telling you who the devil is. It is Esau, the so-called white man. So I hope this has been edifying, and, just thought I'd bring that other article out as well. Shalom.
Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1531B, and today's date is March 28th, 2018, and the title of the episode is Counterattack Ago, the Deep Empire is About to Fall. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, as we mentioned before, Facebook, they are in a lot of trouble right now. The FTC, they're looking into it. Facebook is out there saying, listen, we have these new tools, and it's amazing how quickly they can come up with these tools and how users can delete their data and things like that. And it's amazing how they're able to do this so quickly. Now, we know that Zuckerberg, he has been selling his stock way before this even happened. He was told that this was going to happen. They knew it was going to happen. And we can see right now the insiders, they knew how to get out of this before it even happened. And what we're seeing from Q is that Facebook is not going to be the only company that's going to be investigated. It's going to be Google. It's going to be Amazon. It's going to be Twitter. It's going to be all of the major social media companies looking into what they have been doing and what illegal practices they have been involved with. Now, Playboy is saying that they are pulling out of Facebook. They're basically dumping their Facebook pages. They have about 25 million fans who engage with Playboy via the Facebook pages. And they're saying they are not going to stay on Facebook because of what is happening, where this company is selling people's data. So we see right now that things are not going well. And Q did say that this was going to happen. Now, 37 state attorney generals, they are demanding answers from Zuckerberg in the data harvesting scandal. And 37 of them, they want answers. And some of the questions they have are, how did Facebook monitor what these developers did with all the data they collected? What type of controls did Facebook have over the data given to developers? Did Facebook have protective safeguards in place, including audits, to ensure developers were not misusing the Facebook users' data? How many users in our respective states were impacted? When did Facebook learn of this breach of privacy protections? And it wasn't a breach. You know that this was done on purpose. They sold the data and everyone had access to it. During this time frame, what other third-party research applications were also able to access the data of unsuspecting Facebook users? And they want answers to all these different questions. Now, Obama is out there, on the other hand, saying, and he was speaking in front of a Japanese audience, and he's hoping to rid the world of alternative media from social media and the internet. Now, he says he intends to put his time and money into changing the way people get their news on social media. So the translation to all that is, if you don't comply with the globalists, you'll be banned, shadow banned from social media. And once again, Obama was saying that he's going to be working with the Obama Foundation to change the way the internet and social media function. And you can see right now that their whole goal from the beginning was to shut down any other news site that had a difference of opinion or were asking questions or had evidence to counter what the establishment was saying. I mean, let's take, for example, what happened in the UK with the Skripal case with the poisoning. Now, there's been no evidence whatsoever. They haven't shown that Russia has done anything. They won't even give any of the evidence over to Russia. And we come to find out that we have Portendown, which was, like 7 miles away from where Sergei Skripal and his daughter were found. And we know that the Pentagon spent over $70 million on military experiments involving deadly viruses and chemical agents at Portendown. And no one is even thinking that maybe we should look into to see if that's where the poison came from. And once again, we also mentioned that A234 was missing from the database. Nobody knows what happened to it. And this database is only added to, you don't delete from it. So we see already that there's a lot of questions. This is going against the establishment, and this is what they want stopped. They don't want anyone out there talking about what is going on. Now, we know that Russia is pushing for peace in Afghanistan, and right now, a senior Iranian official says a great military solution in Afghanistan would be for other countries to remove themselves from Afghanistan so peace can move forward. And I think this is the beginning steps of having the United States remove itself from Afghanistan. And we see right now that this is also going to happen in Iraq. We already see that happening where the U.S. coalition, they want to shrink their role in Iraq, even though there's still the Islamic State that's lingering around in Iraq. We know that the Iraqi officials are saying we need a timeline. We need the troops out of there, and it looks like the coalition forces are looking to start removing some of the forces from this area. The same thing's going to happen in Syria, and this is all going to happen in due time. Now, Q came out with a huge amount of posts, and we see that one of them was Q went silent for a little while. They had to change the trip code because the FBI opened a case on Q and they had to make sure that everything was secure. So Q went silent for a little while. And we do understand that the corporate media is out there and they're saying that, Kim Jong-un took this armored train over to China. Why is he going to China? Is he talking about Trump? How to get out of the deal with Trump? I mean, they're making up all this different stuff. But one of the things that Q did say of why Kim Jong-un had to travel to China, I don't know if he was really on the train or not. I think that was a distraction. But the reason why he had to go in person is because the communication through a normal call was not secure. And the only way to make sure that their conversation was secure was to go to China in person. And it looks like the conversation and what they discussed was very positive. And we see that within North Korea, there are deep state operatives that were spying on Kim Jong-un. And a lot of people are saying that Kim Jong-un, he has been controlled by the deep state, but was now convinced to basically go with the other side. And we can see that everything is breaking down in North Korea for the deep state. And we need to go back in time because we know that Google, Eric Schmidt, visited North Korea. They were setting up communications within North Korea, setting up secret comms, and we know that they're part of the deep state. Remember, Google and Facebook and Twitter, they are intertwined within the intelligence agencies. And Q is out there letting us know that all of this is starting to break apart and the deep empire is about to fall. And why are things about to basically implode on themselves for the deep state? Well, one, we have the report coming out from the election fraud cases, and the Department of Justice is looking into this, and there's going to be many people named in this report on how they did this and what they did. We see a lot of government officials and business CEOs that are going to be resigning. We have to follow the resignations to see which individuals are going to resign. We also need to understand that many of these individuals, and of course, according to Q, is saying that many of these individuals, well, they're not even going to make it to trial because most likely they're going to suicide themselves. And he's saying, why is the military so important? Why does he need the budget for the military? No, it's not for war, not to create a war cabinet, not to go to war with Iran. Yes, Iran is next, but Iran is next to have peace, to stop the demonization of Iran, just like the demonization was happening with North Korea. That's the whole purpose of this. But we can see they already have a flow chart of what they're going to do next. This is all part of the plan, and there is a tidal wave that is incoming, and it's going to hit very, very hard, and people are going to be very, very shocked in what is happening. We see that Q is saying everything that has happened out in Parkland is a distraction. Parkland was specifically organized and designed to distract. Actors are now acting, which we know. It is fake. They have no power. Justice will be served to those playing the game. And when Q says this, Q is saying all of these individuals will be paying the price. Guns are safe. Trust the plan. All the charges against Flynn, they're going to drop. They're going to be dropped. All this is supposedly going to be done in 30 days. Cleaning house. The White House now is secure. We're in the final stage right now. So what is happening is the counterattack is a go, which means that in the administration, he has secured the White House, meaning that he stopped probably all leaks. Maybe one or two will get out, maybe not. But for him and for the rest, they do believe that the White House is secure. They have peace in North Korea. They're already making deals with Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, Putin, and they have total control of the situation. They're going to be using the military to basically wrap things up. And this is the counterattack. This is why he needs the funding. It's not to go to war. And we can see that everything is being put into place. The omnibus bill, is it the best bill we've ever seen? Actually, the spending bill. Is it the best thing we've ever seen? No, it isn't. It has a lot of stuff in there that the government officials squeezed in. But what happened is Trump basically enabled the Spending Act, took control over it, and has control over $1.3 trillion. He doesn't have to do what Congress has said to do with the spending bill. These are just suggestions. This is not a budget. We need to be perfectly clear on this. So when we start to look at the big picture and we step back, we can see that things are starting to fall apart very, very rapidly for the deep state. Now, Q did say the deep state might try something. Might try another false flag, might try an event someplace, we don't know where. Maybe they do have information, but they don't want to leak that out, because if they leak that out, then the deep state would be onto them, and maybe they would change plans. But they know that something might happen. And of course, we know this too, because we understand they need a distraction after a distraction after a distraction, because if they don't have distractions, guess what? They're going to have to start reporting on what is really happening here. And I think in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, we're going to see a lot change. We're already seeing it in the economy with Facebook and Amazon. All their stocks are declining. We see the FTC already looking into everything. We're going to see Parkland most likely exposed. All of this is happening at the same time. If you notice, Trump came out today saying that the Second Amendment will not be repealed. Now, this is not for the people. It's to the deep state, because their plan from the very, very beginning was to get rid of the Second Amendment. He's letting them know, you have lost. You will never, ever get this done. It's going to be impossible at this point. And the march that they had and all their everything that they're trying to do with trying to take the guns away from the people, it has not worked. That last event is a failure for them. They got nothing accomplished with what they've done. And now we're moving to the next phase, the counterattack, where Trump and the Patriots, they will have the upper hand. They will know how to get the deep state, to corner them, to make sure they can't escape. And Q did say there will be no escaping what is about to hit here. All the exits will be blocked. And we can see that is exactly what is happening. And if you look, all these individuals that got together, that were trying to get Trump out of office, trying to get the Patriots out of office, it has all failed. They tried and they tried and they tried, and they just can't get it done. So we are seeing right now the counterattack. We're seeing the final stage, and we're going to see many of these individuals being brought in. Now, some of them are going to try to run, but I believe they already have tabs on them. They already know where these people are going to go. We already have the algorithm that they use to basically spy on people, the algorithm they use to know what's going on. That was provided by Snowden. And we can see that a lot of this stuff is all starting to come to an end. So the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months are going to be very bumpy. We're going to see a lot of information come out. We're going to see a lot of scrambling by the corporate media. We're going to see the deep state. They're going to try to have an event. They're going to go on the defensive, and they're going to try to distract the population like they always do, but it's going to fail. I mean, depending on how big they make the distraction. Now, if they make it huge, which I believe this is the only thing they have left to do, if they just do a small distraction, it's not going to be big enough to get what they want. I think they're going to have to go big or go home, and they're going to have to really bring it this time. Now, what they most likely will try, which I thought they were going to try before the Parkland shooting, I thought they were going to do something much larger than that. But I think what they tried to do is they try to go down this route like, they've been doing all along, and they realize that this didn't work. I think the next event that is coming is going to be much, much larger. And they already see what Trump and the Patriots are doing with Facebook, Google, Twitter, Amazon. And once he gets the investigations going with all these different companies, their stocks are going to plummet. When those stocks start to plummet, actually beforehand, you're going to see a lot of these investors, a lot of these CEOs, insiders start to dump their stocks. You know it's coming. You know that something is about to happen. Just like Zuckerberg was dumping billions and billions worth of stock, we knew that something was headed our way. Once you see this happen, you know the market, well, it's going to have a difficult time staying up. I mean, yes, they can push a button. Yes, they can do whatever they can with their manipulation, but it's going to start to not make any sense. It's going to show the world that there's something wrong with the market if they do this. I mean, if they go ahead and they manipulate the market while all these tech stocks, the FANG stocks, start to decline, I mean, they're exposed. So we can see that he can bring it down at any minute. He can change the narrative and point to the central bank, point to the deep state, bring all these individuals in, shut down their operations, all at the same time. And I think this is what he's doing. He's surrounding them, cutting off their source of power, cutting off everything that they had before. And again, this is the deep state. It's not, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Yes, she's part of it, but she's a puppet. There's people that are much, much deeper than that, that we don't even know about, that are pulling all the strings, that are calling all the shots. Yes, we do have the puppets that are out there. Those people are going to be brought in, but we need to go much, much deeper. We need to find those people that have been pulling the strings, pushing the buttons, and having all these puppets do what they want. And the only way to do that is to cut off the source of their power. To cut off the source of the power, you need to go to the central bank. You need to cut off the funding. You need to cut off the intelligence agencies. You need to cut off their ability to blackmail, spy on everyone. And this is what is being done. It's taken quite a while to set all this up, but I think now that they have everything pretty much set up, everything in position, I think everything is a go right now. And I think we're going to see the deep state really start to sweat it out. We're going to see many, many different things in the news, and everything is going to start to fall apart on them.
Going back a month ago, we knew the Democrats were organizing select young people to go out and be anti-gun spokespersons to launch a nationwide youth movement against guns. We played clips earlier of movements being launched on MSNBC to have young people bully their parents into signing pledges that they will, in fact, here it is right here, promise to kids, contract, that we will vote for legislative leaders who support our children's safety over guns. But I thought it's guns protecting our children. I thought it was Broward County, Coward County, standing down. Why are you blaming gun owners? Mass shootings only kill 40-something people a year. It's still too many. But why are you hyping all this and then saying, I, as a father, that protect my children with firearms, or that police officers that protect people, that somehow we're collectively to blame? When a jihadi runs over somebody, they don't say the truck's to blame. So now we have definitive proof that this is AstroTurf. Now we have definitive proof, funded by Soros, the Women's March, the Democratic Party, that less than 10%, even MSNBC admits, we're about to play the clip, of the people at those events, at these anti-gun events, were actually even young people. It was mainly the Department of Education and government workers and Democrats, the exact same speakers, the same crowds we saw with Linda Sarsour and the Women's March that Soros spent $287 million on the day after Trump's inauguration. I was there. Ladies and gentlemen, I was just watching during the break Fox News, and former Governor Bill Richardson was on there, and they had on screen the caption. We're trying to back it up and find it so I can show TV viewers and radio listeners right now. And it said, Facebook is not a social media network. It is a data mining operation. Well, that's what I've been saying for 10 years since it started. That's what it is. And it sells data to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of companies. So it's just incredible that we've gotten to this point. And now it's coming out. Yeah, there it is on screen. Largest data mining operation in existence. And the fact that they went after Cambridge Analytica, which is a big player, but tiny compared to the aggregate, was opening Pandora's box. Or I used the analogy a week and a half ago of the Christmas sweater, where you grab the one string and it makes the whole thing come undone. I think we've all, like when we were a kid, had a sweater before we knew to, snip it off with scissors, and we would start pulling on the string, and pretty soon there'd be a huge hole, and Mom would have to patch it. I remember back in the old days, my mom still sewed, and kids would make fun of me sometimes with a sweater that had like a patch in it, but I thought that was cool. Of course, nowadays that's trendy, but I'm digressing, ladies and gentlemen, and they're finding out that the company worked for hundreds of governments, just like I said, and that most of it was anti-Russian or anti-conservative, because the globalists have the money and they're fighting nationalist and populist. So that's coming up in the next hour as well. Jack Posobiec's going to be joining us. There's so much to get into, but Facebook is now in trouble for favoring the Obama and the Hillary campaign, and they're saying it's pretty much a clear violation of federal law and the Federal Elections Commission, Fox News is reporting. So see what they did. See what they did. It's amazing. And, of course, it turns out that most of what Cambridge Analytica did was anti-Trump, because they would take money from anybody. They were taking money for Trump. They were taking money against Trump. There's a good comic cartoon on Infowars.com that shows the media pointing at Obama and his data mining and saying, genius, look how smart he is. But then Trump does it. Oh, my God, he's criminal. He's evil. Well, the truth is what Trump did was not illegal. It was public data mining to reach out to constituents and figure out who they were and mobilize them. What Obama did was full control of Facebook, Twitter, and Google to go into your Droid phones, to get your databases, to fix polls, to give the questions to CNN beforehand. I mean, it's incredible. And see, that's how they could do fake online polls too, is they could target demographics or target websites where they knew they'd get a certain response, have the online polls pop up, knowing the demographic that's on there, even live time. Just like you can see on Google, a restaurant, when its peak time is, how many people are there right now. How does it know that? Because the phones are tracking people live time inside the restaurant. Well, it's way more sophisticated than that. So I told you the left was insane going after trying to discipline Facebook to not let conservatives have access to data mining when all they did was expose the entire golden goose. Now, I want to get to what I was mentioning earlier, even MSNBC admitting that with their demographer, with their sociologist on there, that less than 10% of the people there were children at the March to Enslave the American People rally brought to you by George Soros and the globalists. I mean, that's who publicly funded it. Just a month ago, I'd say that I'd be banned online because they were getting it organized then and didn't want you to know it was synthetic. Private jets, private buses, scripting everything from day two. BuzzFeed later wrote the definitive article. They normally lie, but they wrote a big article bragging about how the Democrats took it over day two. The March for Women, which is wholly owned by Soros. It's the same women and same Hollywood stars behind the young adults like Hogg and the other 3 of the 4 horsemen. Now, let me stop right there. We need to fund this operation, ladies and gentlemen, before I get to that clip. And I make it really easy. We went out and looked at what the top nootropics or brain pills are that are healthy for energy, stamina, mental clarity, you name it. And we created a stronger formula than some of the best-selling formulas out there. It's very simple. We went out and looked at what is the top, what is the best. We'll just put even more product in, we'll make it better. Leading competitors put $2 a product in it, sell it for $60. We put 10 products, $10 in it, and sell it for $30, $40, depending on how what the price is at the time. It's $19.95 right now. And you add our advertising, our expenses, you name it, we're making like $5 on this. Nobody brings you a premium supplement with 25% profit in it. Nobody. The average competitor has 7 times markup. So you get an incredible top-of-the-line nootropic for $19.95. Believe me, we're selling it for $35 on average. We need that $15, $20 we make to fund this operation in the face of the globals, the rest of it. But I'm doing this because we got a ton of it coming in 2 weeks. I want to sell it all out before the big supply comes in. And I want people that haven't tried Brain Force to try it and find out why. It's got 6,000 plus 5-star reviews, a 92% review rate. Our average is 98, but the globalists go in their menus and try to vote us down on power reviews and stuff. But the point is that nobody's got a nootropic at 92%. It's amazing. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. And there is a challenge I'm running. The Real Red Pill sold out the first month we got it. We got another big shipment in. But people say, yeah, I take it and don't feel it for 4 or 5 days. Exactly. It doesn't have classic stimulants in it. It's got pregnenolone that is the base precursor hormone, totally legal, seen as safe. But they were giving people in the 20s for arthritis. By the time you get 20, 30 years old, the level of pregnenolone in your body naturally goes way down. Without it, your body can't make all of the other key hormones and the stuff from the endocrine system. That's what it does. So pregnenolone as a base, then key minerals, key amino acids, and key vitamins that are used in the upload of pregnenolone and the production of hormones in the body. So this isn't going out and taking hormone mimickers. That can cause some issues, obviously. But just consult your physician, do your own research. This is pregnenolone with everything it needs to be uploaded and used and metabolized by the body. It's the Real Red Pill. And people are going crazy on it. I mean, it is amazing. So, pregnenolone and the rest of it's for the brain and the body. And so that is the Fusion Pack, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got a challenge going. Brain Force Plus and Real Red Pill Mind and Body Challenge Pack. 50% off when you get them together and free shipping. This is a new offer this morning. Brain Force Plus and Real Red Pill Mind and Body Challenge Pack. 50% off in store for a limited time. These two go together like a horse and carriage. It takes 5 to 7 days on average, from my experience, other people's experience, to see what the real red pill does. Brain Force hits you in 30 minutes. So, but they go together. We're giving you the powerful combo pack to help you boost your mind and body to their limits healthily with the Brain Force Plus and Real Red Pill Mind and Body Pack Challenge. The combo pack features Brain Force Plus and the Real Red Pill together for an unprecedented 50% off in savings. With Brain Force Plus supporting supercharging your state of mind, and Real Red Pill supporting healthy aging and cognitive function, these formulas together can help you push your mind and body to their limits. Together, these products have an average 4.7 stars out of 5 rating. These powerful products are some of the most advanced formulas yet to help you change your mind and your body in the better. Get the Brain Force Plus, because now there's more in each bottle, plus the Real Red Pill Mind and Body Challenge Pack today at InfoWarsStore.com, or 50% off and free shipping. And, you know, it may sell out by Monday or Tuesday, because Brain Force at 50% off just evaporates off the shelves for a good reason. Because there are leading brands that are very similar, but ours is about 30% stronger, that are retailed $80. They sell for $60 all day long at stores and online. And Bezos sells a formula very similar at Whole Foods and online, discounted for $49. Ours is 30% stronger. It's organic, it's concentrated, and it funds the info war. Win, 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 win. A 360 win, a non-zero sum game. And you get it with the Real Red Pill. Takes a week to kick in, just like X2 takes about 15 days. And life-changing energy, stamina, focus. I'll be honest with you, though. I went back on Red Pill because it's been sold out for a few months, and I've been back on it for 2 weeks, and it makes me aggressive as hell. So, because it boosts my normal hormones. I mean, it's true. Libido, oh my gosh. It's the missing link for so many people. The Real Red Pill with Brain Force. InfoWarsLive.com or 888-253-3139. Please support our local affiliates. That's critical as well. Second hour straight ahead with Jack Posobiec, and I'll play that clip when we come back of the march basically being a giant fake fiasco. Stay with us. Well, we knew it. Going back a month ago, we knew the Democrats were organizing select young people to go out and be anti-gun spokespersons to launch a nationwide youth movement against guns. We played clips earlier of movements being launched on MSNBC to have young people bully their parents into signing pledges that they will, in fact, here it is right here, promise to kids, contract, that we will vote for legislative leaders who support our children's safety over guns. But I thought it's guns protecting our children. I thought it was Broward County, Coward County, standing down. Why are you blaming gun owners? Mass shootings only kill 40-something people a year. It's still too many. But why are you hyping all this and then saying, I, as a father, that protect my children with firearms, or that police officers that protect people, that somehow we're collectively to blame? When a jihadi runs over somebody, they don't say the truck's to blame. So now we have definitive proof that this is AstroTurf. Now we have definitive proof, funded by Soros, the Women's March, the Democratic Party, that less than 10%, even MSNBC admits, we're about to play the clip, of the people at those events, at these anti-gun events, were actually even young people. It was mainly the Department of Education and government workers and Democrats, the exact same speakers, the same crowds we saw with Linda Sarsour and the Women's March that Soros spent $287 million on the day after Trump's inauguration. I was there. I saw hundreds of buses just on the streets I was, and we didn't block them from marching to the mall. The day before, they beat us up. They attacked women and children. They wouldn't let people into the Trump event, and CNN showed the rally before the gates even opened and said no one was there to hear Trump. That's the weaponized evil. That's the globalist and CNN and MSNBC. So let's go to MSNBC admitting one more piece of evidence that this was totally synthetic AstroTurf. And when I pointed that out a month ago, they made a good run at banning me off YouTube, and still thousands of other channels like the Health Ranger and others are still banned, and thousands of gun channels are being banned. This is the assault. Let's go to that clip.
Talk about the makeup of this crowd in the protest this weekend. Who was there? How many first-timers? And what impact do you think it's going to have in the long run in American politics?
Well, these are great questions, Joe. I mean, first and foremost, I think it's important to note here that while young people mobilize people to participate, what's really interesting is that less than 10% of the people in the crowd were actually under the age of 18. So that's 90% of the people there who actually can vote today. In addition to that, I think what's really important is that it turned out over a quarter of the people who had never participated in a protest before. So these are people who are mobilizing around the issue potentially. And finally, I think what's really interesting is that 16% of them were politically moderate. And that's the highest percentage of moderates that I've seen at any of these protest events since the inauguration.
So let's stop right there. Yeah, they call themselves moderate because they're told, you're moderate, you're not anti-gun. And the schools organize them, and they say, I'm going to give you all your credit for the year. Hogg brags that he's getting all his credits by not going to school and doing this. So they basically get given their diplomas if they go out. They get given their grades if they do this. But hiding in plain view, there is the facts. Jack Posobiec was there. He shot the video of just one road. Looks like 100 buses. But I was in D.C. I left that Saturday after the inauguration on Friday, and it took us 2 hours to get to the airport because there were so many buses going out of town, and they were just, I saw hundreds of buses just on the routes where I was getting out, and it was 1.5 million women. And they were Department of Education. They were wearing the stupid pink hats. They were there. And this is who they are. This is the government. This is the bureaucrats. These are the people that want to run this country. They want Cloward and Piven. We'll talk with Jack Posobiec how we counter it. Is Trump starting to go sideways on us? The big news on China and their warships threatening blood and war. I forgot that part. Bloody battle. The Chinese dictator, Xi Jinping. It's all coming up. Stay with us.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Gonna hit me? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
For 40 years, we've brought the Bible's most powerful stories to life on stage. Stories of courage, stories of love, stories of faith. Now, the adventure continues. Next spring, Sight and Sound Theaters presents the greatest rescue story of all time.
Shalom, Apostle. How coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to your help by Shemi Al-Shai, by Shomer Kwadash. And real quick, I'm going to entitle this Christianity is White Supremacy. Now this is from a page that when you click on the video, it leads you to YouTube, and the name of the channel was Sight and Sound Theaters, and the name of the video is Jesus Teaser. And I'm just gonna play it, and you can see that everybody in this all the performers that play biblical characters are all Edomites. And the very last scene, you see what's supposed to be the Lord's hand, Edomite hand, a white hand, pulling out somebody else. So this whole Christianity nonsense bullshit is nothing but white supremacy, because when you go to any church, or pretty much any church, because you got some so-called black churches that no longer accept so-called Jesus as a white man, so they'll put up a black image of a so-called black Jesus, but it's Caesar Borgia with a tan, basically, and jerry curls. Anyway, this so-called religion called Christianity, what I call Renaissance Christianity, and all those images of the so-called white Jesus is they come from the Renaissance period. You're not going to find any images of a so-called black Jesus prior to the 1300s. And check it out for yourself. All these this Renaissance art bullshit came about in the mid-late 1300s into the 1400s on up until this present day. So, just sit back and watch this video, make your comments and so forth. And, we have plenty of scriptures that show you that the people of the Bible, the Israelites, were people of color, people with woolly hair. Now you have, before I close, I'm going to say this on these Uncle Toms that follow this Christianity bullshit. Hey, you're gonna suffer the same punishment as this Edomite, man. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. And we're supposed to overwhelm them with this truth. So that's why there's a great awakening of these so-called Christians coming out of the woodwork, really because of us. And when you come into this truth, man, it tells you in the book of Baruch, it says, seek him 10 times more. Peter said, give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. So you're supposed to be on fire when it comes to this truth, man. Constantly putting up videos, constantly, tearing down, this. Oh, it says in Isaiah 62, what is that, in the 6th verse? Give him no, 5th and 6th verse, give him no rest until the Most High makes a Jerusalem praise in the earth. So we're not to give these devils any rest when it comes to this truth. Anyway, watch the video and, comment, make your response videos, whatever. Now, I don't know if this video is copyrighted. If they take it down, so what, Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.
Before I get started, I would like to extend my sincerest condolences to the family, friends, and fans of Craig Mack. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Craig Mack was best known for his hit Flavor in Your Ear back in 1994, and he was an integral part of the foundation of Bad Boy Records. But sadly, Craig Mack passed away last night, according to media accounts, at the age of 46. The cause of his death is being reported as heart failure, and many are saying that he did not seek treatment for his heart problems due to his involvement in what some call a cult.
I received an email this morning. Remember I told you, Craig Mack? You people out there listening to me? Craig Mack, when he first came around, he really didn't want anybody to know where he was. Well, I tell you, boy, is now what do they call that, Wiki Pig? Wikipedia. Brother Stare, I saw for Wikipedia that Craig Mack has joined the Overcome Ministry. Is that true? Well, no, Craig Mack is dead. We have somebody, it used to be Craig Mack, and he didn't join anything. God joined him.
Craig Mack reportedly joined the Overcomer Ministry located in Walterboro, South Carolina around 2012 and lived on the church compound until his untimely death. The Overcomer Ministry brochure describes its compound as a location that about 70 saints, families, single brothers and sisters live in common unity. It says we have all come together to join together in the preparing for the soon coming of Jesus and to be set apart from the world to be able to live a sanctified life. We live in community homes of mobile trailers for each family or accommodations for brothers or sisters with common baths and common eating, all seeking to live together in love for God and each other. We do not go anywhere as we do not need to do so. We work the farm and have our school, and with the simple life, we need very little that the world offers. As stated, members of this church live on the grounds of the church and do not go anywhere, not even for medical treatment. Their brochure clearly states, we go nowhere, no shopping or trips to see what have you. Your life will be here on the farm until Jesus comes. Members of the church are allowed to quit the church and rejoin their regular life if they choose to do so. They're not being held hostage physically. Mentally, they each may have their own reasons that keep them there. But in any case, it seems Craig Mack chose to live his life right there until his dying days. The church was led by Ralph Gordon Stair, who you just saw in the video, and he was considered a prophet by many of the members, including Craig Mack, who referred to him as a prophet on camera. However, the church leader, Ralph Gordon Stair, who was 84, was actually not living a holy life as he professed. He was arrested in December of 2017 and charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, 1 count of assault with intent to commit criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, 1 count of kidnapping, 1 count of burglary in the first degree, 1 count of second degree assault, and 1 count of third degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. I will leave a link in the description box to the news report of the allegations against him. But taking all of this into consideration, it appears that Craig Mack lived on the church grounds from at least 2012 to his last days and chose not to leave the church grounds to seek treatment for his heart problem.
Craig Mack called us about 6 months ago and told us that he was real sick, that he might be dying soon. So he called all his friends that he went to school with. You know, me, Alvin, my boy Bernard, Lenny, Bismarcky. He called a few of us. So we kind of knew what was going on. He only had 25% of his heart that was, he was using. And when you would talk to him on the phone, he would kind of daze off for 10 minutes at a time to catch his breath sometimes. And then he would come back to the phone. So this is not a surprise to us. To people watching, a surprise, but we knew he was dying.
Was it so some kind of congestive heart failure? Yeah, was it congestive heart?
Yes, congestive heart failure, exactly, yes.
Wow. So he called all of you guys together, and I presume he wanted to record something before he passed away?
Well, Craig Mack wanted to get his story told, so one of our old friends named Alvin Tony, who signed Craig Mack to Bad Boy, went down to the, I guess you call it camp or whatever, and did 2 hours worth of interviewing with Craig Mack. Craig Mack wanted to tell his story before he left. And it's kind of weird that he died because I guess he wanted to get it off his chest first and then he passed away. Once you see the documentary, you will see what Craig was like, and Craig was in no shape to perform. He was working with a cane and he got real slim. But he was still had the personality. He was still Craig laughing and joking sometimes, but he was too weak to perform. Craig Mack was more of a lyricist and it was a beautiful person too, but he had more to say. It was just too bad we couldn't see it.
So you did put down something and we will hear it eventually?
Oh yeah, of course. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hey, Craig Mack, friends, I told you he's around. Craig said to me the other day, he said, "You gonna let other people hear this?" I said, "Sure." I says, we'll put it on the air. He said, "Whatever." anything to get a testimony out that I believe that Jesus is coming. You see, if you go back far enough with Craig, as one man called this morning, he said, I knew Craig, he said, I was one of his fans. He said, he made millions and millions of dollars. Now, a lot of folks don't believe that, Craig. You had a lot of it stolen from you. The devil tried to steal your soul, too.
Yes, amen.
But we took care of that thief.
Yes. Praise the Lord. In the name of Jesus, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Father.
Praise the Lord.
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 Now, I knew when I put Craig on with the, when he got with the hip hop, I told you right away, I tried to dampen the music down. But you see, that's the way they do it. Where'd you come up with that music? You had it?
Yeah, it was, yeah, I had it.
Okay. And so he came back again, and he made it more clear. If you listen, you heard me right at the end. I put it on a little more clear. But I did ask him to do it a cappella.
Amen.
That means with no music.
Amen.
And then I said, now, be more deliberate with your words. Oh, I understood his words, but, you know, he didn't have to go along to music. He can sort of put an emphasis on the word like, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Craig Mack here, huh? What do you call yourself?
Child of God.
No. That's when you said that, when you started out.
Oh, Incredible Matt.
Incredible Mac. You'd be surprised how many people around the world know about Craig Mack. That's what I tried to tell you when he showed up here. I didn't pay him no respect at all.
Right.
Then when they told me he had money, I showed him less respect.
That's right. Amen. Amen. You sure did.
Now since he got faith, I'm giving him more respect.
Woo, glory! Hallelujah!
Now
thank you, Jesus.
He told me he could do that a cappella, is that right?
Yes. In the name of Jesus. Well, I know to the world, the rap I kick will make you think I'm a lunatic. Lost my mind, or mentally sick. But for all mankind, this is it. New kingdom on the earth where the devil don't fit. No more bad times and no more wars. New Jerusalem, the city with the gold on the floors. Righteous laws, 1,000-year pause, the earth rejuvenated. Christ illuminated. I fight for the cause. I kick down doors the devil set up. See, I'm about to erupt. Max a warrior. I wear the armor of God. Fix your face, raise the bass, and stop looking so hard. You see? Praising the Lord is easy for me. Craig Mack's right where he's supposed to be. You're not close to me, you foes to me. The saints praise God and the Pope praises Rosary. See, we about to take it to the next millennium. On Judgment Day, I know where he's sending them. The earth and God on one accord, and I'll be in the choir singing praise the Lord.
That's it?
Now y'all asked the question, where's Craig Mack? Then you two played me at the tabernacle, jumping up and down with the prophet of God, giving praise to my king who was bruised and scarred. Set me free, gave me a charge, a night to remember like El DeBarge. I gave away my cars, turned in all my guns, cause the Mac stayed with beef like hamburger buns. I sold my home, I moved my family, South Carolina, so they could stay mad at me. If I stayed in New York, it's just another tragedy. So God cleaned me up, well, y'all are still raggedy. Sore as a cavity, depravity, you're facing calamity. Your ego on a high like we ain't got gravity. Your Majesty, please forgive. This world gives you death, but I want to live. See, what you gonna do when God come? To me, the best song on the album. If you don't turn around, you know the outcome. Cause hell's a place that you ain't never coming out from. When God come down for it change the ground, you better praise the Lord. It's all upside down for he turn it around, you better praise the Lord. When God come down for he touch the ground, you better praise the Lord. One God, one Savior, one Lord, all aboard singing praise the Lord. Thank you, Prophet. Love you.
Again, I pray that his soul rests in peace.
Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakah, Kadash, double honor to the apostles at Great Millstone, ruling well. It says, digital conversion, Church of England rolls out cashless donations. I just watched a video of Pastor. I've been watching a few videos, to be honest. Yeah, the main apostles. I watched, a few of the main, all the main apostles. Apostle Tahar, Apostle Kabar, Apostle Rakar, Apostle Ram. I was watching like their videos just, and the thing is, man, this we're getting down to crunch time, man, and the spirit. There's a lot of tensions going on in the world. There's a lot of nations coming against each other, people's nationalist movements, and all this sort of stuff, man. There's a lot going on, and pretty much, the spirit is out there to report, man, and just push this truth. But anyway, let me go into this article. It says, digital conversion, Church of England rolls out cashless donations, terminals to be available at more than 16,000 sites to make it easy for congregations to pay. Now, I just seen this pop up 3 hours ago. I think one of the apostles, Apostle Ram, just did one about, it was in Sweden, and I seen this up here in England, and it says, churchgoers will no longer have to fumble in their pockets and purses for loose change and notes as the Church of England introduces contactless payment terminals in more than 16,000 churches, cathedrals, and other religious sites. Now, talk about the mark of the beast. Talk about that system that we keep talking about. Here it is, they're putting it in churches, contactless payment in churches. I mean, why would you do that? This is all the conditioning, the programming to bring the system to mark of the beast. You just had this dude, Alex Jones, just make a video screaming that the book of Revelation is true. You know why he's doing that? Because he already mentioned about the Hebrew. He got it from the apostles. Okay. Now a lot of people are trying to go into the scriptures and stuff like that and talk about the mark of the beast all of a sudden because the apostles have been pushing that heavy. And you're gonna have a lot of people when they start seeing these things all of a sudden. Oh yeah, I always believed in that. I already knew that. A lot of people out here are full of shit. Okay, let me go into this church. It says contactless payments have been on trial in 40 Anglican churches since last summer, and from Tuesday they'll be extended to all dioceses, if I'm saying that right. Okay, with the aim of, or dossiers or whatever, with the aim of making donations easier and faster. Congregations will also be able to donate via text message. The C&E takes about 580 a year in donations, although most are from standing orders and fees rather than cash given in church. It began looking at cashless payment due to declining numbers of people carrying cash. So for whatever reason, you got this Apple Pay, you got Google. Like we say, man, this is that mark of the beast enacting. And that's what we're in the time of the mark of the beast, man. This mark of the beast is probably going to be flipping, for all you know, put out this year on that level, because when you look at globally what's going on and you're looking at contactless and you're looking at certain things, look at what China's doing with that thing that they've put out there. The mark of the beast has to come out before World War III, and World War III is brewing. You've seen what's going on with the UK and Russia and America and Russia. Tensions are brewing. It's on. There is a clear need for our parish to introduce card and contactless facilities. We're excited to make this available. How we pay for things is changing fast, especially for younger churchgoers who no longer carry cash. We want all generations to be able to make the most of their place of worship. So this is a new world, a new age thing. The NWO, the mark of the beast, the new system. It says the way people pay for things is changing. That's what ain't that the part of the Illuminati agenda? To change the way people pay for things. Yes, it absolutely is. Let me go to the scriptures and I'll go back to that. So you got to be up on, and I'm going to read this again. I'm going to keep reading this, man. Revelations 13, 9 and 10. It's a lot. Revelations 13 and 16. He calls of all the elites are doing that, man, under their system. He calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark of the beast. See, that had the mark. So when they're talking about the way people pay for things are changing, well, right here in the scriptures, it tells you that this system, this beast system that's set up in the book of Revelations, that they would change the way people pay for things. And we're reading it now. The church has admitted, the way people pay for things is changing. Okay, which is the mark of the beast system. Getting the implant, no cash, just scanning. And then you don't have to scan cards or your phone or a watch. Or you scan your damn fucking hand. Alison David is secretary at St. George's Church up in Stamford, Lincolnshire, said our parishioners can occasionally find themselves strapped for physical cash. It is fantastic to be able to offer an alternative which is quick and convenient. We hope this is a step forward for St. George's and many other churches like it in staying ahead in the modern era. First of all, if you really was reading the Bible, you wouldn't be trying to adapt to the modern era. The scripture says about the men that worship the image of the beast. You're going with the way the system wants things. You're not going with the way the Bible and the scriptures tells you things should be. You're going with the way the system tells you things should be. And we know, according to the scriptures, a false weight is an abomination to... Let me see if I can find that, because I quoted it in the last vid, but I never got it. Let me see if I can... Where's 11? This is Leviticus 19 and 35. Okay. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meter yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. And that was the, a pound is weight, a dollar is weight. All these things, it tells you in Genesis that Abraham was rich in cattle and gold. So we know that this fucking stupid money system is fucking fake, and people believe in it. I got dollar bills and all that, papers throwing them around. Or they got Lizzie heads throwing them around, Queen's heads, and those things don't have no fucking intrinsic value whatsoever. Fucking it's toilet papers, if anything. Okay. It's nice to feel part of the 21st century when a young couple come in to discuss their marriage banns, which cost £43. I have no longer to send them over to the road to the cash point, she says. Also, if people are giving money by card, there is no question that any of it is going to go missing. The Catholic Church is moving towards contactless collections to make donations easier in an increasingly cashless society. Several parishes in the dossier of Westminster allow parishioners to donate via text message. So there you have it on that one, man. There's so much. Look, cash eclipse as Britain turns to digital payments. I don't use so people just don't carry cash nowadays. Britons are adapting to a cashless world, and it's global. You see what Sweden's doing. See, right in front of your eyes, the system is heading towards the mark of the beast. We're in the time that mark of the beast, people are chipped already. There's gonna get to that stage where everybody's gonna have to make the decision whether you're gonna get RFID chipped or not. And that's how real as this thing gets. So now's the time to be on point, keep pushing these prophecies, stay in the spirit, pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rakah Kadash, and keep it pushing, man, because this is real. This ain't the time to, get in more with your wife, have more children, think about the next, you're trying to get a degree, trying to elevate yourself in the system and all that. Thinking about the latest new drops that are coming out and how you're gonna cop them. You gotta be thinking about this. In it to win it, because this place is gonna get fucking destroyed. This place is gonna, and that's a beautiful thing. This place is gonna be fucking destroyed. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking Thor News update alert. As I'd mentioned in the previous edited video that has all the information you really need to know about the situation you're dealing with, we have a dam failure that is imminent at the Moccasin Reservoir Dam in Tuolumne County, California. Floodwaters will move down the Moccasin Creek. Facilities downstream of the dam have been evacuated. So, like I said, we got massive rain coming into California till about midnight California time tonight, maybe even 3 hours after that. And so please, if you know anyone anywhere near this, it's by the Don Pedro Reservoir, which I believe is north. That's where Sacramento is. Because a lot of the snow, the rain is falling on top of the snow in the mountains, leading to flooding. So, like I said, we still have, 10 more hours of this stuff. We will probably see consistent infrastructure failure, roads, possibly more dams. So everybody needs to stay alert and on top of it. Honestly, I've been looking at the weather data here, and that is a whole lot more rain than I saw anybody predict anywhere. And it's not to blame the meteorologists, because the data they're getting is probably bad. But it's just the weather changes. The earth changes are happening so fast these days, baby. That's why I've been saying, like a broken record, we have to come together as one American family and adapt together. But nobody's listening. Everybody's arguing over goofy stuff. So I'm just doing the best I can. But as you can see, most of the major reservoirs are not at shocking levels yet. But we'll keep our eye on it. See, here's the Don Pedro down here. So, San Luis, deja vu. I gotta get off that page before I start having major flashbacks. Yeah, so here's March 2018. Just a giant severe weather crayons map. So if you know anyone in that area, just please keep them alerted and updated. I'm going to run through this real quick with you. I'm sorry this video is sloppy, but this is an emergency video. And please tell everybody, that might be involved in any of these areas to stay on the lookout, because, like I said, the flooding and the water is going to be happening through about midnight. This will take us 24 hours. And then you got more rain coming in. They're saying it's going to stay off, but I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of moisture, man. But so, zoom in. So yeah, I think it's down here. But so, this is Central Time. It should be, 3 o'clock. So this would be, it's about 4 o'clock. And you'll notice you get a second band coming in by Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, moving to Fresno. And so the rain from California. See, this is 6 a.m. and it's still got these minor showers coming in, but it's still going to be some pretty serious rain until at least about midnight. So everybody, please just stay aware, stay alert, and if you have loved ones in the area, just let them know. And hopefully that dam is not big enough to cause cascading failure across other infrastructure. I don't think it is, but this is total cloud water right now. And we got a moist situation. going on our hands, for sure. 3-hour precipitation. So yeah, that area is getting hit pretty hard right now. And probably will continue for a while. I mean, just a couple hours. So, I'm going to do this projection real quick and then I'll shut it off because this is supposed to be fast. Warning announcement. Okay, this is European. And then that next storm is going to hit at least North California. And the pattern may have shifted to where California is going to start getting more rain. I mean, you got the rain coming in, but the high pressure from the volcanoes off of the coast, they've been keeping it away from southern and northern California. That pattern may have stopped. So I'm going to switch over to GFS. We'll take a look at it real quick just to kind of give you guys a second idea of what you're dealing with. And then I will put this up. But yeah. So both of them have California getting rain up through midnight. The GFS has it lasting till about 3 a.m. And then both have more rain coming at least to North and Central California through the weekend. So this map now has it raining or snowing through at least North or Central California to the weekend. And these things have been changing. It's super fast record levels, so it is best to stay updated with your local forecasters when possible. Okay, we'll do NAM one more and then I'm done. And I highly recommend you go back to my other video, which I just put up. I spent like, 8 hours editing it. Puts in all the information you need to know, what, when, where, how bad these mudslides can be. Yeah, this had the rain in California until 8 a.m. So that's a problem. And more projections are bringing a lot of this rain south into North and Central California. So, interesting times ahead, people. I highly recommend we all work together as one family, one team, but I feel like a broken record. Nobody's listening. Everybody's just getting mad, arguing about goofy stuff. So maybe it's time for me to move to Colorado and become a pecan farmer. I don't know, they can grow pecans out, pick walnuts. Alright, so yeah, it's an emergency. Let everybody you know. And stay cool, and I'll get back to you guys later. Peace out.
Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Nabashai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of all Israel on earth today. And salutations to my fellow laborers in Akim, Confusion of Face Akim, that are joined unto us to do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. All right, it's your brother Malcolm. I'm from the branch here in Chicago. And this is a couple of videos that I've been watching. These post-apocalyptic videos. You know how YouTube is. Once you watch one film, they got all these little short films. And some of them are good, some of them are garbage. But I watched a couple yesterday, and then I watched the video of Bible Secrets Unveiled. My brother Bara, one of the heads here in Chicago, and it kind of spirit jumped on me to use this footage. And this one is a film. The other one is actually, I'm gonna use another one, which is just a video. So that I can avoid any type of copyright. I'm not gonna put the sound on, and that whole sort of thing. But the imagery, I'm gonna borrow. Okay, and I'm gonna start with 2 Corinthians, in the 5th chapter. But once again, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Nabashai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Okay, but yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. And it reads, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, and everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whatever it be good or bad. All right, so you're going to be judged for all things you've done, and this is talking about women too. All right, and women have been wanton and careless on this earth, almost every one of them. Okay, in this age of the Kardashians and this woman worship and woman over the man and freedom of the woman to do this and that. When the scripture said, give not your women over much liberty, man. All right, especially your daughters. Verse 11, knowing therefore that the terror of Yahweh will persuade men, but we are made manifest unto power, and I trust also are made, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness. All right, so yeah, we teach the word of the Lord and the things that are come, which you can clearly and apparently see. I just saw the list of stores that shut down in the last 15 days and businesses, and it is quite frightening, you know. And then the launch of the petro yuan, which is going to be a game changer in America, which is going to lead to what we're looking at, man. So times are going to get really, really bad. And you see this man is basically, this is the future for a lot of you women, man. You're going to get bought, sold, and traded. All right. Let's just fast forward. And right there, he had the women take a seat. And this guy has to pick from among the women and men. Because it's going to be like that, man. Okay? It's going to be really, really bad. And you women are going to be bought, sold, and bartered. You know? It's quite simple as that, man. Going to be bought, sold, and bartered, man, and traded. All right? Deals are going to be made. It's going to get crazy out here. Okay? Just trying to get to the scene where the guy actually takes the girl. The one he chose. And, well, there it is. And the funny thing is that when he chose this girl, some of the other girls looked like they were kind of salty that he didn't choose them. Because I guess he was a better looking prospect than the current situation that they were in. All right. I guess they had just come to terms with the reality of what was going on. And it's going to get brutal out here when lawlessness is gone. It truly is. It's going to get crazy out here. So let's click to another one. Yeah. And it's funny.
Hi, everyone, and welcome.
The video is titled "Being an Attractive Woman" or "Being an Attractive Female Doing the SHTF." And if you don't know what that means, it's called "Shit Hit the Fan." And if you're not keeping up with current events, the shit is about to hit the fan.
To the contingency plan. I have no idea how the subject of this video came up, but once I started thinking about it, I realized that as disturbing as it is, there's probably a lot of truth to it. Sadly, this almost exclusively has to do with how men will target women. I don't really envision any scenarios where good-looking guys are going to be directly affected one way or another.
And that is a lie. Because with the sodomite and homosexual vibration that's moving through America, man, all right, a lot of men, good-looking and attractive men, are definitely going to be targeted in the same scenarios when as good-looking and attractive men, especially if you're not gang affiliated or you're not super buff or very strong and vigile, if you get locked up into Esau's prison system, which is a breeding ground for homosexuality, man. And a lot of guys, the homosexuality is forced upon them. All right, they're not involved in homosexual activities by choice. They're forced. All right. And if you're a very attractive man, all right, and you don't have no mad squabble skills, man, or you're not, incredibly strong, you get into the prison system, they're going to look at you just like this woman, tattoo a set of breasts on your back and keep you bent over Yeah, you just got the visual, right?
I don't see men or women targeting attractive men in regards to violence. However, if you're an attractive female, as horrible as shit hits the fan will be in general, I feel it may be even worse for you. Also, and this makes it even worse, I don't believe age will play a factor much at all. If you're a female and you're visually appealing, you will be targeted more so than if you were considered homely, below average, or just plain ugly. We've all heard count.
That's true, because if you're not an attractive woman, you can pretty much guarantee that death is going to come to you pretty quickly. You're going to starve to death, or you're just going to be a victim of Micah 7 and 10 a lot faster than the average woman, or than an attractive woman. Okay, and also the real beauty is going to be tested. Like the girl on the screen now, she's kind of cute. She's not bad looking, and she's not wearing makeup. So you women who are able to disguise your face with all this makeup and hygiene is going to be out the window too, man. So no tampons, no deodorant. You're not going to be able to clean and doll yourself up. This is going to come down to true beauty, man. All right. And if you don't have that, chances are you're not going to be given any water. You're not going to be given any food. All right. And you're just going to have a miserable existence until you die in the streets, man.
Most times how men are visual creatures. Most of them couldn't care less if you're smart enough to rub two sticks together. If you have a nice body or they find you visually appealing in any way, you will catch their attention. And in a shit hits the fan situation, you do not want to draw any attention to yourself at all, positive or negative. As much as the gray man method is going to be a challenge for many people because of their narcissistic behavior, being an attractive female is going to increase that difficulty dramatically. Once rule of law is out the window, the only thing that is going to prevent men from targeting beautiful women is their own moral compass. If they lack one to begin with, or it fades over time, attractive females may end up having the most difficult time during shit hits the fan of anyone. The conditions we may find ourselves living in over time will have some effect on a woman's appearance, simply due to the lack of hygiene and clean water we may have available to us.
So, like he said, that's when true beauty is going to be tested. And he said, in the moral compass of man, America is morally corrupt, man. So you can look for no moral compass. You're going to be chained up and being sold by guys who gonna seize that opportunity. Some of you just gonna get chained up in the basement, or chained to a tree or to a pipe somewhere, and you just gonna get ran through. Some guy's gonna charge, man, or they're gonna use women to barter with to get food and services, man. All right, it's gonna get real ugly out here, and you can't trust in yourself. And if the Lord is not with you, or the man that you're with, you both could end up chained up together. This is Proverbs 3 and 5. And it reads, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. All right? Be not wise in thine own eyes, and fear Yahweh, and depart from evil. Because this guy is talking about how women's going to have to learn to defend themselves and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not, totally against that. But, how much can you really, truly defend yourself against a man? All right. Especially if your circumstances are on an equal platform.
But a visually attractive female is still going to be considered attractive to many men, even after we all start to look a little rough around the edges. To make it worse, over time, standards are going to drop. So even if you consider yourself borderline attractive today, 6 months into a shitty situation, you may go from a 5 to an 8 in the eyes of men with nothing to lose and no laws to keep them in check. Today, being considered beautiful is a goal many try to attain on a daily basis.
Lawlessness, man. There's going to be no place to hide. Now, this one right here, she's not looking too good. She would probably get passed over, or she might just get chosen to be eaten because cannibalism is coming back. That's one of the benefits of being an attractive woman. At least you may not end up, hacked to pieces and your limbs eaten.
In a shit hits the fan world, attractive women may switch to trying on purpose to ugly themselves up as much as possible. This tactic will work to some extent, but overall probably won't have much of an impact on whether or not you are targeted by men intent on doing you harm. Most will still be able to single an attractive female out of a group rather easily. And as if this all wasn't bad enough, it gets worse. Assuming you survive any actual assaults, in a post-apocalyptic world, the last thing you're going to want is a pregnancy, let alone...
Man, let me read this. This is Isaiah, the 13th chapter, starting at the 14th verse. And it shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. And they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, and their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. The houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Hey, the women are going to be getting raped silly, all right? And a man who doesn't have the covering of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, any woman or women that's with him is going to be ravished, man. And I got news for this guy, man. Children are going to be a delicacy. People are going to be eating little kids, man. That was that movie called Snowpiercer that came out some years ago. And the scene that stands out that I remember the most is when the guy sat there and confessed to the other guy the things that he hated about himself. And he said the thing that he hated about himself the most was that he knew how human flesh tastes. All right. And what he hated even more about it is that he knew the infants taste the best. So the primal wickedness, all right, which is especially in these Edomites, okay, is going to come out. Okay, that primal kill or be killed, merciless is going to come out, man.
An unwanted pregnancy. That's an entirely different video all to itself. So what's the solution? Trying to ugly yourself up isn't a viable option. In my opinion, there are two things you have available to you. The first is keeping a low profile by, for the most part, staying out of sight. This one sucks because it's basically a form of self-imposed imprisonment. As bad as shit hits the fan will be in general, it would be even worse if you had to hide the entire time and limit what little freedom you did have. The second option is something that you can do starting today, and that is learning to defend yourself. Not only do you need to...
And say, there he goes, man. It goes back to the scripture in Proverbs, leaning into thy own understanding, man. Okay? Leaning into thy own understanding. There's going to be marauders out there, groups and bandits of men, and they're going to be looking for resources. And women are actually going to become a resource, man. They're going to become a commodity. All right? Because if one group of men have water and another group have food, or they may have batteries, or they may have wipes, they may have Q-tips, medicine, aspirin, things that you take for granted now as we get closer and closer to the collapse of this society. All right, because it's not going to be some 20, 30-year period like they show you in these movies, where it's 20 years after, after the nuclear war, 10 years after, 10 years later, 20 years later, 40 years later. It's not going to be that, man. That's not going to happen. All right. When Babylon gets destroyed, it's going to be destroyed within 1 hour. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the scripture, man. That's how it's going to happen. But as society falls, there will be a period of time where life will look like it's being portrayed on the screen, man. There's going to be a time where people are going to be living grimy, hunting for food, lack of food. That whole sort of thing, man. Well, people are just out there trying to survive, man. Eating abominable things, eating their own pets, their own animals. Okay? As society collapses and falls, man. Riots, race riots, food riots. This is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And I'm going to start at verse 15, the points in 17. Okay? But it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're going to be invading one another, man, in and out of each other's homes. Okay? And I guess, and having the skill of Bruce Lee defending your house is not going to help you, man. You will have to have the Spirit of the Lord on you, man, or it's over. It's simple as that, And this will be a reality. Women being bartered and sold. Okay? When these things take place. And it says, and a lot of you just going to die violently in the streets. Verse 17. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because in this short film right here, the guy used the girl as bait just to try to get past a checkpoint. That's why he bought her. He didn't even want the chick. He bought the chick in this film just to use her to go across a damn checkpoint, which he couldn't get across. And the men in the checkpoint took her. These are the men at the checkpoint and put her in a tent. What do you think they put her in that tent for? She was to be entertainment for all the men there. All right. That's why they put her in a tent, man. And that's what happened. I don't want to get hit with copyright, so I'm just kind of going through it. But as soon as the night came, after they've been defending this checkpoint, it's time for them to one by one go into the tent. That was what her purpose was. And that sort of thing is going to happen, man. This is Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh, thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her, and now she shall be trodden as the mire in the streets. All right, so you women going to be trodden, and that's talking about how shit in the mud, man. And a lot of you going to get pounded, like that repeatedly by many and different men. All right, so you wanted to be promiscuous. Well, now you're about to be promiscuous by force. You're not going to have a choice in the matter. And if you're in a checkpoint like this, where it's 15, 20 men, then I guess you won't be thirsty for water, because it's going to be a lot of water for you to drink. All right, whether you want it or not. All right. This is Isaiah 4 and 1. All right. But see, the women who are going to be covered by the men of the Lord are not going to have to worry about these things. All right. Because whether you want to believe it or not, your salvation is through a man of the Lord, man. Period. All right. To try to say, and I can already see the scoffers come with a dumb, uneducated, unlearned comments, disregarding what the scripture says that I'm about to read. But it reads, and in that day, seven women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and we will wear our own apparel, but only let us be called by thy name. All right. And this is what happened, because the dude actually came back for the girl. Why? So he could use her again. But she was expendable, because if she had to take, 4 or 5 penises before he came back in the night, because that's what he used the girl for. He used her to get past checkpoints. So while the men were distracted with her, he would come in and kill them and collect up his property and then leave. All right. So with that, I hope this was an edifying lesson, and I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS. All right. Who are our teachers, and a Bob Ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your friendly neighborhood Star-Lord New Thor 7, and we're looking at 11,337 lightning strikes in the last 2 hours. So whereas my good friend Apollo was like, hey, let's go see Ready Player One tonight, I was like, sure. And then like a half hour ago. I could just feel all this incredible, intense energy because I'm right around here. And so we are watching a very active storm with severe potential for severe weather. This is what she looks like on the radar right here, right now. We got a thick, look at those clouds. Look how thick those clouds are. You can spank them. Not really, you can't spank clouds. At least not that I know of. Okay, let's keep this thing on the rails. And so this is the water vapor in the lower level. Here is Texas. As you can see, it's streaming through. As I mentioned yesterday, the QPF would be low over 7 days. For San Antonio, they predicted, I believe, a total of 1.25 inches. I've heard reports that San Antonio today already has gotten up to 7 inches of rain in some areas. So, yeah, here's our water slout. I don't think slout is really a word, but we'll go with it. And so this is going to continue through Thursday. I don't think the rain stops until Saturday. So we've got at least another 40, 50, 60 hours of rain going on across the United States with our storm here. I'm going to let this thing play out. I'm sorry to have let me clear my throat right in front of the microphone. Look at that thing. That is an incredible storm system. It looks like a dinosaur dragon at the very end, and it's got his little ghost buddy who disappears following him. So that is very cute. Kind of like you. And I want to say to you, my listeners, our astonishers, Asteroid Fight Club, and all the fans, people who love Thor News, thank you. You guys are amazing. I super appreciate you. You're the best around. No one's ever gonna get you down. No, this thing's going off the rails. So yeah, we got a serious situation. And so I think I'm gonna skip the movie tonight just so I can see this lightning system. That's about 10 p.m. in Houston. We're gonna see a pretty good lightning display, I believe. Let's go back to the lightning. Yeah. So I want to be there when that comes to us. And then, what do we got? Just do a quick rundown of the forecast. I'm going to keep this one quick. I got to eat. I got stuff I got to run a few errands, and then I'll get back to the weather, and I want to watch the storm come in. Yeah, so we are looking at a very active pattern, and I believe it's going to stay cold in the north, where you see the isobars of pressure dip down. So it'll be 5 to 10, possibly even colder, through April. And we got more storms coming in. This storm is going to be massive, and it probably won't leave until, count on it being out the door across the coast on Saturday night, and then you got a new storm coming in right after it. What an interesting, fascinating time to be alive. And this is your jet stream. Although it's weird because the blue is wind. So we see more wind than we do land. So you've got some pretty intense winds all around. All over the place. So that's, that's something to watch out. That's interesting, right? And so things have been weird ever since the polar vortex split, and then we had sudden stratospheric warming. And so here's our little Mercury retrograde system, and then you got a ton of moisture coming up. There was a horrible flood in Brazil like 2 days ago, and horrible flooding in Australia, New Zealand, I believe. And so, the pattern just rotates around and changes and gets wilder and crazier. And this is water vapor, another version. And man, Mother Nature creates some very interesting patterns. And so, and here's, if you want to be scared, if you want a little doom cake, doom candy, somehow, when I looked at this earlier, it said, hey, we had like 145, 152 rivers and flooding, and then 217 at near flooding. And then somehow, during this massive storm, all the numbers just got nerfed, which means they were high, and then they made them low. And so, that's very interesting. And for one request that someone had made to me, they were like, hey, can you help us out here in the Europes? So I'll do my best, and we will take a look at Europes. So I pulled some weather videos, and I've been editing them, but I haven't had a chance. That takes a long time. Yeah, Europe's been getting nailed too. And I know you guys have seen look at those triple storms right there, man. So, oh man, okay, so this is the new one, so we're not getting all the frames. That's why. We're going to go back to the one 6 hours ago. All right, I want to keep it short. And still, I'm coming under 10 minutes. Okay. That's something no woman wants to hear. That was inappropriate! You are fired! Wait, I'll just put you on probation. Yeah, here we go. So we got multiple major storms coming in, and this is a very serious situation. I'm pretty sure people are going to die, but as your planetary defense commander, I cover this stuff literally every day and have been doing it religiously for like 2 weeks. 5 years. And so, look at what we got going on, people. Look how giant that rain band. That was the rain band of rain bands, and oh, that looks like a nasty note. Look at that thing. Whoa. Yep. Look at this. It's time to come together, people. It doesn't matter if you believe I'm Thor or a Star-Lord. What other options do you have? You can both believe in God and prepare for a better future. You can both believe in Jesus Christ and prepare for a better future. There ain't nothing in the Bible that says we gotta lay down and just wait, man. And we got serious problems. So these are bigger than all political issues people be talking about all the time. This is something that affects us all. And these are, look at these rain bands. Like, this is all, if that were ever to track over the United States. So, yeah, Europe, you were in, it looks like some heavy hurt. Our next nor'easter looks scheduled around the 5th. But yeah, this is a serious situation. Look at that. But yeah, Europe, Spain, prepare for just continual wave after wave after wave of wet weather. In this wild weather, WTF is going on. Parade. So it's time for the people to stop being ruled by our naysayers. And the people who always say everything's going to be bad, everything's horrible, everything's evil. Well, there are still a lot of good people on the planet, but somehow we're being drowned out by those who are negative. And the only thing they really scream is like, it's all horrible and it's all just going to get worse. Like, why do you need to repeat that more than once? All right? If that's how you feel, all right, that's your feel. And you don't really need to break down the micro machinations of like what is happening all day, every day. And I believe that if we come together, we can meet all these challenges head on and build some amazing stuff together as one Earth family. So, all right. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Thank y'all very much. I super appreciate you. And I will keep you guys updated. And I will try and shoot some of this lightning storm tonight on my personal video stuff and put it out or whatever. We'll see what happens. You know, sometimes man makes plans and then God laughs. Okay. Talk to y'all soon. Stay cool. I love you.
First, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. A shout out to Yakim that's out here on the four quarters of the earth, coming out and proclaiming this word, even though every day seems like Groundhog Day, you know, because we're bringing it all out there, you know, but for us it seems like Groundhog Day, even though to those that haven't heard, this is a new song, so, you know,
again, you know, until we get into the kingdom, until the elect are sealed, this is going to seem like Groundhog Day, you know. Does it look like we're living the same day in, day out? And it's been that way for quite a long time, you know, as we've been lied to about everything, but we were in this, pretty much, we've been in the Truman Show for so long, you know, being taught the same old lies, and it's like you think that everything's exciting, but it's not, you know. You've been brought up on these philosophies that America is great, you can be all you can be, you can, you know, just if you put your mind to it, you know, you can achieve all your dreams, right? But what if you're one of those 99%ers, right? Because it seems to only be that way for the greedy 1%, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. They're the ones that have everything. They're the ones that have achieved everything, and it's been given to them. It's been handed to them. Technically, no, they went out and stole everything, just like Libya was independent from a Rothschild bank and all that. They stole Libya. They stole Iraq. And they've been trying and been stealing Syria, but only stealing it as ISIS, as these other terror groups that they arm and train, just like they did with Al-Qaeda in Libya. The same terrorists then made their move on Syria. So, you know, because Syria is our brother, that's why this judgment is coming against them last, because here they are, they were our brother, and they conspired with Esau to put us into captivity. You know, that we would no longer remember that we were the Hebrew Israelites. They know who we are. You know, it's no secret, though, that, you know, when Damascus falls, that's about the time that Edom's going to be brought down to its knees, and we'll get the kingdom. So I'm just going to read out of Isaiah chapter 17. The burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall become a ruinous heap. The cities of Aurora are forsaken. They shall be flocks, which shall lie down, and none shall make them afraid. The fortress shall also cease from Ephraim, and the kingdom from Damascus. And the remnant of Syria, they shall be as the glory of the children of Israel, saith Yahweh of hosts. So what's that talking about? Shall be as the glory. That means that the rest of the Syrians that were not killed in this are going into slavery under us, you know, because it'll be our glory because of what they did when they conspired with Esau. That's why they're getting jacked up right now, is because they conspired with Esau, that we would not remember that we were the Israelites. But it also says the fortress shall cease from Ephraim. Well, what is Ephraim? Ephraim is the northern kingdom, right? Well, how do we know we're in this time? Well, think about it, though. The northern kingdom, Ephraim, you know, we can look at it both formats. We can look at it as Puerto Rico's, where the main tribe of Ephraim actually is, and we know that that fortress has ceased. They still ain't even got power there, you know. They've gotten pretty well fucked up, you know. We can look at it that way, or we can look at it as the tribe of Gad, Reuben, and Issachar, Manasseh, Ephraim. All of these places went into captivity under the same king of Babylon, America, you know, because they had enslaved us, you know. And so the fortress had ceased from us, you know. We were dwelling safely over here until Christopher Columbus and his murderers came over and slaughtered each and every one of us and put us in slavery. And in that day it shall come to pass that the glory of Jacob shall be made thin, and the fatness of his flesh shall wax lean. And that's what happened. You know, Gad barely survived. Manasseh barely survived. Our tribes barely survived when the king of Assyria, right? No, but he is referred to in these chapters too, because you jump down to Isaiah chapter 19, talks about the king of Assyria, the Assyrian, you know, which we know also as the king of Babylon, you know, which is Esau, the so-called white man. Yet gleaning grapes shall be left in it, as the shaking of an olive tree, 2 or 3 berries in the top of the uppermost bough, 4 or 5 in the outmost fruitful branches thereof, saith Yahweh of Israel. So again, you know, a transference is about to happen. You know, we say that quite a bit, you know, but you know, I'm going to get into this because it talks a little bit more about this, you know, northern kingdom, Ephraim, and where they were at, its dwelling place. But now both the northern and southern kingdom being oppressed together. in this place called America, Babylon the Great. But going to jump down to Isaiah chapter 18. Woe to the land shadowed with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. So, AKA the eagle. That's another name of this place. America is that land shadowed with wings. That sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels of bushels upon the waters, saying, Go ye swift messengers to a nation scattered and appealed. For a people terrible from their beginning, hitherto a nation meted out and trod down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. That's talking about America, Babylon the Great, and they have spoiled all these nations, and now the nations are getting tired of it. All ye inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye when he lifted up an ensign on the mountains, and when he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye. And that's what we're doing right now. We're calling our people to repentance, because this king of Babylon, Babylon the Great, America, is about to be destroyed. And you don't want to be caught in the judgments thereof. So we know that we're approaching another Sabbath, but to these Edomites, and a lot of our people, sadly, are going to be celebrating that wicked Queen of Heaven worship, aka the virgin birth, Mary, Easter, and it's just nothing more than a wicked festivity, and if you find out you're a Hebrew Israelite, you're not supposed to be celebrating that bullshit. So you're going to see a lot of us putting videos up on that just alone, and what are we to do? We're to eat of this. We're to eat of this word, eat of the meat and all that, Yes, it may seem like it's Groundhog Day to us that's been going out here teaching for a long time, or for us that's just coming into it. It's like, I kind of spoke on that last week. Well, I kind of spoke on that this week. It almost seems like it's Groundhog Day, but not in a good way, right? It just kind of seems boring, right? Repetitive. But yet, we need to get that grain in there, It's like Apostle Tahar had just stated, though. We should be touching up on our Hebrew. Trying to learn this word in the Hebrew, trying to get more into the annotated Strong's Concordance, where we're looking at the Hebrew words and learning how to speak in Hebrew, because that's going to be our language. We ain't going to be speaking all these foreign languages anymore. We're not going to be speaking in other tongues. We're going to be speaking in one tongue, one concordance very soon here. So we should touch up on our Hebrew. That's another thing. And this word should be in us, That's why, you can't really say that you're a prophet if you don't have the word inside and out, but yet at the same time, though, you are to prophesy, that's how you reinforce the learning, and the idea, though, is to not falter, not get bored, even though it may seem that way, but we should be enjoying this, because this is a new song to us. I mean, how many years, decades, over 400 or 500 years now, stretch Christianity, that you're supposed to love everybody, that you're supposed to forgive that of whom has persecuted you, has attacked you. You're supposed to just forgive them, even in the bigger, more heinous crimes such as child molesters and rape and all these things. You're supposed to forgive them. You're supposed to forgive them for cutting off your ears and cutting off your noses and feeding your children to alligators, right? We're supposed to forgive this man? No, man, that's a lie. It's been a lie. Our enemy hates us. Yahweh hates our enemies. He hates every one of our enemies, so we've been taught wrongly, No, we aren't to love this man. We're supposed to hate him with a whole heart. We're also supposed to prophesy against him, and that's what we're doing now, We are condemning the so-called white man for every atrocity he has done, for the atrocities he's doing now in Syria and around the world. And he has been made bare in the valley of Yahweh's judgment, because that's what Jehoshaphat means, And he's going to gather his mountain of troops, which is what Armageddon means, to battle against the Most High himself, against the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai, And this is going to be exciting, because the way we're going to be visited, and we're being visited, every day you're catching more and more UFO sightings, and more, even the military, Air Force and all that is starting to see them and all that. They're showing up everywhere, because the time is near, and we know that we're approaching that time, because we can see things clamping down. The police state is getting bigger and bigger, as the March for Their Lives demonstration, what's that going to bring? Gun control, government control, FEMA camps, FEMA roundup, like the war on the homeless. You know? If you close up the bathrooms and you make it to where they can't go to the bathroom, where do you think they're going to go? You know? But, you know, that's just it, though, is, you know, they all talk about how much they hate the homeless and all that. And it's like, well, that's kind of funny because you're about to be homeless yourself. The greedy 1% have everything, and they're going to take it from you because that's how they got it to begin with. So we'll see how much you don't like them then, you know? And, you know, that's just it. You know, here in Reading, man, they just really hating on the homeless. And yet, that's 30% of the population, been 30% of the population almost the entire time Reading has existed, you know? But like everything else, though, you know, the laws and the police can fuck with them at any time for no reason whatsoever. And nobody gives a fuck, you know? Police brutality, yeah. You know, we don't get to make a tape, you know, and put it on CNN, you know, like the Rodney King thing, you know. Oh, man, you see them harassing. You can't do anything about it because they got a badge and a gun, you know. And it's like, you know, there's an actual protest going on right now in Sacramento, but that's not going to get a lot of coverage. Man who was shot, who had nothing to do with the robbery, because some goddamn Edomite called and said that you know, that there was a robbery, and so they shot an innocent man 20 times, not just once or twice, 20 times, and he had nothing to do with it. Of course he was a Jake, but you know, they're not going to cover that, not like this March for Their Lies bullshit, and we know that the shooting is bullshit, we know that it didn't even happen, but then I've shown you drone footage. You know, we all see the drone footage of shit that goes on in Libya and Yemen and all these other fucking wars, you know, children being murdered, arms blown off, shit like that, you know, death all around. But I don't see any movement to try to ban the military, try to ban, you know, say, get the people out of Yemen. What are we doing funding these Saudi terrorists? Why is the Saudi prince around here getting free, you know, looks? Because these are Edomites. They're the worst of the worst. Because they're the terrorists. ISIS is nothing more than American created, the same as Al-Qaeda, the same as all these other terror groups. They're the ones that are causing everything. And best believe, though, they're going to keep setting off more and more false flags, more and more fake shootings. So that way they can round you up. All they have to do is set off an event like they did in Austin and open up the FEMA camps. And those people never come back. Whole community told to go to the FEMA camp because that's what they were. They're just not saying the word, but we know that those are FEMA camps. Same thing with the Walmarts, you know, and now you're getting down to the Walmart only. Kmart is no longer here, you know, so the only low-income store, you know, is going to be Walmart, you know. Yes, we still have Shopko and Target, but for how much longer? You know, they're getting to the Walmart only because Walmart is pretty much FEMA. They have a deal with Homeland Security. So I hope this has all been edifying as we're seeing a lot of things spark off. This being the year of prophecy, we're going to see a whole lot more. This is only getting to the beginning of April, only 4 months in. Shalom.